Welcome to the Killer Countdown. Each episode, two horror fans are pitted in a head-to-head countdown of the greatest horror films of all time. The two will collaboratively create an official top 7 countdown for that week's topic. Join the Killer Countdown if you dare. Welcome to the Killer Countdown. I am one of your hosts. I am Casey Kelderman.
And I'm Blake Ginithan.
Blake, we're here again with another episode of the Killer Countdown, where we break down 7 films, we rank them, we fight over them.
Yep, we stab each other over.
We stab each other. That might be what happens today.
I think so.
Yeah. Today we are going to discuss found footage films.
Yes.
So we just got done literally recording our Friday the 13th countdown. So definitely go check that out if you haven't yet. This is our second Killer Countdown here.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
I'm more excited than the Friday the 13th, obviously.
Yeah. So I feel we're joined here again by Mr. Brian Mensing.
How's it going?
Brian will be here to moderate what we are doing here. He's going to keep us from grabbing this fake rubber knife that we will keep here on the Killer Countdown set.
Yeah.
Keep it in between us so we don't, try to stab each other
I
with
have
it.
to keep it out of your hands because you're a millennial who wants to fight everybody.
We have to fight about everything.
Yeah.
No, so how this is going to work, we have a top 7 list. This is going to be the official Backlot 605 Killer Countdown top 7 list of whatever this is, according to us.
And tonight it's found footage movies.
So found footage movies. We were kind of mulling it over what to do after Friday the 13th.
We didn't want another franchise.
Yeah,
Quite yet.
We will eventually do Halloween. We'll eventually do Nightmare on Elm Street. We'll eventually do all of them at some point.
My boy Chucky.
We'll do Chucky at some point. We'll fight about that for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But we wanted to do found footage because...
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
It is, in my opinion, it's one of my favorite subgenres of horror.
It's underappreciated. If
It
you
is.
ask me.
It's not one of my favorites, but I have clear favorites within the genre.
Yeah, for me, much like slashers, there's obviously really bad ones.
Yep.
But then there's also really great ones when it's done right.
Agreed.
So I think that's what we're here to discuss today.
Yep.
So I don't know. Do you want to kind of just break down the rules, Blake? And
Yeah. So there's 7. It's a top 7 list, which sounds odd, but the stinger is one person gets to choose 4 movies, but the other person gets to choose the top movie. So the person who gets 4 picks gets to choose 7, 6, 4, and 2, and the second person gets to choose 5, 3, and 1.
yes, he's got it down. You got it?
Yeah.
Do I need to turn my sheet over here?
No,
so you just keep the numbers?
it's late. I am tired. I've been up since 5 a.m. So I had
This might make this a little more fun.
Yeah, so I had to think about that one.
Yeah. So if you ever listen to the podcast called Screen Drafts, this is a very similar concept. We're fans of that, so we want to do kind of our own version of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you listen to the first episode, you'll know that I got to go. I went first and did 7, 6, 4, and 2. And Casey did 5, 3, and 1. So today, I get to go 5, 3, and 1, and Casey gets to go 7, 6, 4, and 2.
Yep, so I will have the most picks. Blake will have the number 1 pick.
The number 1. I hope Casey is afraid.
I am. I had a lot of nerves doing the Friday the 13th one. I might be having more now because I feel like there's more stakes in this.
I just love the fact that the number 1 is going to go to the guy who's not as fan of the genre as much as you are.
Yeah.
Which is really going to... He's literally going to twist the knife.
Pun intended.
Pun intended.
Yes.
I have a knife in my hand at this moment.
Explain that knife.
So
It's not real.
It's not real.
No,
So
it is a prop replica from Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yep. So the knife symbolizes when a person.
What does the knife symbolize?
Death. So basically, if a player lays a card down and the other player doesn't like that movie on the list or it thinks it needs to be higher, he can slash the film from the spot, and then the pick just goes back into that player's pile. but he can't play that pick again at that same spot. He has to play another movie. So each person gets 1 slash per list.
Yes, so 1 slash per episode. If you use it,
You lose it.
yeah. If you use it, you lose it. That card, that as Blake said, it can come into play at some point again.
Yep. Last draft, I almost brought back Manhattan. Almost did it.
Thank God he didn't. But yeah,
You should have brought that back for number 2 just to screw with it.
No, I needed my boy Freddie on that list.
yeah. So this is definitely it's a game of strategy.
It is
more than anything.
It is because like our last episode, I definitely thought our number ones were the same. Like I was convinced, and it wasn't even in your considerations.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a much different type of episode.
I'm very curious to see where
we might veer off quite a bit.
I think
from each other.
I think our lists are going to be vastly different, which could be.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for it.
I am too.
Yeah. You have a stack of.
I have. Yeah.
How many do you have?
I think I have 5.
Okay.
But I love all 5.
Okay.
And they could theoretically all be my number ones. Maybe not, but.
You only have 3 picks, though.
I know.
Yeah. I got about 9 films in my movie stack here.
How many could go 1 or 2 for you?
I have about. So I have for me, I have a definitive number 1.
And 17 alternates.
And then I have 3 that I could also play if I had the number 1 spot. I don't have the number 1 spot. So I have 3 others that are in there. So I have 4, but I also have some wild cards just in case. So I don't know. It'll be fun.
I know. I can't wait.
Yeah. Do we have any other rules we need to explain, or
I don't believe so.
are we all set?
I think you're all set.
I think we're all set. So as Blake said last episode, you had the most picks. I had the number 1 pick. We're going to go opposite. We're going to flip-flop it for this episode. So I had the number 7 pick. And I have no time to think this over.
You have time. Don't worry.
You're the one that was like, let's do this.
You're the gung-ho dude.
Yeah.
You had to convince me.
It's late at night, and we're ready to record this, but... All right.
Also, I feel like we should be recording, like videotaping this episode. Found footage. I don't know.
Oh no!
605 boys dropped the ball.
Yo, we did. God damn it!
Come on, man. Be prepared.
No, I'm not prepared.
Casey, take your time.
I'm gonna go with this one because if it doesn't make the list, I won't cry.
So you're gonna.
I have what?
You're gonna throw it low and hope that he uses his veto now.
No. If he does, then that's okay because it's the number 7 pick. But I just want it to be on the list if it can.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with a movie. I feel it's as much as it is a found footage movie, it's also a parody movie. And that is a parody of Ghost Adventures because this is Grave Encounters.
So what's Grave Encounters about, Casey?
So very much like the television show Ghost Adventures, this group of guys go investigate a mental ward. It's all they're shooting a TV show, but after they're done shooting that the intros to that episode, it is revealed that they know it's a hoax. They're gonna set up a couple scares throughout. They all think it's a joke. They're in for the cash grab. I'm not calling out Zach Baggins, but he might be very much like this character.
Yeah.
But yeah, what makes Grave Encounters work is that spin on the Paranormal television series. Is what makes this movie work. There's also some really good genuine scares in it. One of my favorites is there's a bathtub scare. Have you seen this movie?
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, there's a bathtub scare. There's also some very good creepy monsters that I enjoy. The sequel, not so much once we get to that, but that's a topic for a different discussion.
Or maybe later on this list.
Or maybe later on the list. I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoy the first Grave Encounters.
I want to show you something, Casey.
Okay.
This could have been one of my number ones. I love this movie. I think it's one of the best funhouse type movies that's been released in the past I don't know, 10 or 15. Like 2007 when it came out, 2008.
Yeah, right around there. 09
No,
maybe?
no, but I think it's later, 10 or 11. Anyway,
Brian is our fact checker. He will check our facts.
Is like,
2011.
this is like I don't watch this every year, but I watch it like every other year. Like I love this movie. I also think this movie needed to be on this list.
Yes.
Like it absolutely. It's not. I wouldn't call it a great movie, but it's just a ton of fun, and the scares are great. And there's scenes where there's no scares, but like the way the filmmakers are, they have this ability to build up dread. Like there's a scene where the sun sets and never comes up, and the clocks don't work. They never know what time it is. It's like they're in an alternate universe. All their food ends up becoming rotten, and they can't open the windows. And there's so much going on that they get done in such a little time, and it's such a great movie. Well, it's a lot of fun.
It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a perfect movie to watch at midnight with a group of friends. And
it is.
And
I'm really glad I'm not burning one of my picks for that.
Yeah.
Because I got it.
That is one of them where I'm like, if this ends up being number one, that'd be all right.
I would like to point out that, for not being a great movie, as you were saying, it still has a 64, so it's not considered rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice. I'm glad to see that.
It's a 64.
I'm curious what. Yeah, the second one is where my curiosity.
We can
peaks.
talk about that later, maybe. We'll see.
We'll definitely see. All right, so we're good. Grave Encounters, number 7.
I love it. Yeah, it's a great choice. Okay. Like I said, it could have been one of my number ones, but I'm with you. For me, it needed to be on the list.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's relatively underrated compared to some of the movies I think we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was a fan of Ghost Adventures. Like
I never saw it.
No. I know a lot of people like to make fun of it, and it's easy to make fun of.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
never got
right.
into those paranormal shows because I figured. I mean, I just figured they were fake.
Yeah.
So, but this spins that and like, oh, it's not fake at all. Yeah. Like you said, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's number 7 then.
I'm very happy.
Grave
so far.
Encounters. Yes.
All right, Casey. Number 6.
Six. All right.
6, Casey.
Well, here comes the problem that I'm trying to figure out, because we haven't really discussed found footage movies before with each other.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out what are some of yours on your list, so I don't have to burn all of mine and can maybe have some fun ones here towards the back of the list.
Maybe that's half the fun, because you don't know.
Because I have a
veto might come in more handy now.
Yeah, I have.
Where's that knife at? Oh, okay,
That's right there. It's right there.
I'm getting ready. I'm gonna wind
feel
back.
I have 3 spots left.
Yep. So do I.
And I have 3 picks that I feel like need to be on here.
But if he can do math, it sounds like.
Yeah, but if one of them is going to be on yours, then.
But you don't know that.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go. I'll go.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Creep.
Okay.
All right, we mentioned it in the last episode, the Duplass brothers,
Okay.
Mumblecore.
Yep.
This may be the best example of that.
Okay.
This one is Mark Duplass, right?
Yep.
Okay. Just one of the, pun intended, creepiest performance I have seen in a found footage movie. One of the creepiest in the last decade by Mark Duplass. The character that he portrays is, this lonely guy living out in, secluded from everyone else, and he hires a videographer to come, witness his last days and his last testament to his wife. And things go downhill very fast for the videographer. Turns out, everything he has said has been a lie, or what he thinks is a lie. The story he tells about, is it called Peach Fuzz? Is that what the name of the wolf is? I think so. Yeah, he puts on a wolf mask and tells a story about it, and I think that's what its name is Peach Fuzz. But, Mark Duplass is absolutely creepy in this. The final images of this movie leave me utterly terrified. There's a sequence at the end involving a park bench and an axe that will make you never want to just sit with your back turned to anyone after that. And yeah, Creep it's one of the best uses of found footage. It has an absolutely, people give found footage movies a lot of crap because sometimes there's not a concept behind the use of the camera throughout the entire movie. This one actually has that because one of the main characters is a videographer trying to portray someone else's last testament. And so it makes sense that he would actually have the camera there this entire time. And I really appreciate the use of suspense in this movie. The Duplass brothers and who was the other gentleman in this movie? There's basically a two-man show. Patrick Bryce. He also directed this movie, and I think he does a great job with this. And yeah, Creep is my number 6.
Interesting choice. I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it, so I can't say much about it. Obviously, I'm not going to veto it or slash it because I have heard a lot of people who have seen it say basically the same thing you have, that it's well worth your time. I don't know. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah,
so.
It's on Netflix right now too.
Yeah.
It's only
it's been there forever, I think.
Yeah, a sweet hour 10.
Is that what it is?
122.
122.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really short film. Definitely one of my favorites of the found footage genre.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that one.
No?
No. I did not expect that one. All right.
You ever seen Creep, Brian?
I have not.
No. Do you like the Duplass brothers?
Maybe. Can you give me something else other than Creep and Creep 2?
Every mumblecore movie? I don't
Didn't
know.
they do the puffy chair? Is that them?
I have no idea. They like to stick around the indie scene.
All right.
Okay.
So Blake gets number 5.
This is this is tough.
Since he's thinking it over, Brian, what do you think of the found footage genre?
I think it's, I also was around basically during the birth of it with Blair Witch coming back out, and 20 years ago in 1999. I remember seeing that in the theater, pre-internet days, knowing about everything going on, where they came out with the mockumentary that made it look like, because everybody thought it was an actual documentary of these kids and everything like that. To basically in a modern day to be able to create such an interesting subgenre, I think it's just people like you guys have said, we've gotten shitty ones, we've got great ones, and it's just, it's just with any beer there.
Beer there.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like I'm definitely glad that we have this kind of subgenre, because that you have so much room for creativity because you can do it on such a low budget too.
All right. I think we might be talking about that eventually, Brian.
I know.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
All right, Blake.
Number 5.
I'm ready.
His first pick, number 5.
This movie is a few years old. I have seen it.
So it's a Blair Witch, 20 years old.
I have seen it a few times, and each time it creeps me out just as much as the time before it. I first saw this, I feel like I saw it 4 or 5 years ago, and there was a point in the movie where my wife grabbed my hand and said, "This is terrifying." And that's when I knew, I was watching something that I thought was pretty special. I don't see this movie brought up a lot, and it really sucks because I think it's really, really good. I believe it's on Netflix. That's where I saw it. It's called The Den. The Den is about this woman who is doing a study on how people interact online through message boards or sites like Chat Roulette or just meeting people online through video conferencing. And she comes across this site called The Den, where she sees someone murdered, but she doesn't know whether it's real or not. And the more investigating she does, the more real things become. And the entire movie takes place on screens, whether it's a phone screen or a computer screen. The filmmakers figure out a way to keep it all on a screen, and the last 15 minutes are just, they are insane. And the places this movie goes, just I hope to God they don't exist. Like, I really don't. I don't want to say too much of it because the ending, like I said, it goes to a terrifying place, and there's no way this movie was not making this list for me. And I for me, it would be like an ideal number one because it's so good and so underrated. But it just had to be on the list, and I feel like number 5 is a good place for it.
I have seen this movie. I think it is a great use of the dark web.
Yes,
because that is an utterly terrifying thing to think of.
Yeah,
the dark web for me, like in actual like real life horrors, the dark web might be one of the scariest things out there, and I think this is the best representation of it.
Yeah,
in film. I mean, there's an Unfriended movie called Dark Web that tries to do that, and it's like laughable. But The Den just like makes you feel gross after watching
there's
it.
so many...
I feel gross. The first time I watched
that's exactly how I felt too.
It was about 3-4 years ago, and I just felt gross watching it.
Yeah, and there's some great sequences in it where like the tension just builds and builds and builds.
Yeah, this is one of those I need to go back and rewatch it because I remember I liked it, but I didn't feel good after watching it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that's what a good movie should do. I think. Or a good like dirty movie.
A good bad movie.
Yeah.
Number 5 for this movie, I think that's a good spot.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. It's just one of those I need to go back and rewatch it because I don't remember a whole lot about it. The only thing I remember is parts of the ending and how shitty it made me feel.
Yeah. I remember when it finished, it took me weeks to feel safe. Like I just had this feeling like I was being watched and I could be got at. Like I felt very very vulnerable after watching this movie. Like I very rarely feel that after watching a movie, but this got to me.
This is one of the more realistic found footage horror movies out there.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good with that at number 5.
Good.
I like that.
Well, I would point out 2 things here for you.
Yes, sir.
It's not Netflix, but it is on Hulu.
Okay.
So you can get your rewatch in there if you want to. And for being found footage, 80% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics side of things is huge.
Wow. That might be I wonder if that's the highest.
I did pull...
It's got to be another movie, I'm thinking.
Don't let us know if it is.
No, I was going to say, from the audience side, it's only at 52.
Yeah,
but
doesn't surprise me.
But for critics side, for a horror movie just in general, and found footage on top of it, 80% I think is pretty damn good.
Pretty good.
80%? Wow, that surprised me.
I think that's very fair.
Yeah. All right, so that was Blake's pick at number 5. Quick recap, I had Grave Encounters at number 7, Creep at number 6, and then Blake had The Den at number 5.
You trying to take my job?
I am taking your job.
Asshole.
All right, so we're down. We each have 2 picks left.
Yeah.
I got the 4 and 2. Blake has 3 and 1.
Yes. All right, Casey, what is your number 4?
I want to telepathically
send
a movie to you to play.
I know.
So I'm not wasting one of mine.
No, I feel the same way because there is a movie. Because I have 2 picks left, and I think either one of them could be at number 1.
Interesting.
But if they're not, I don't know what else could be. And that worries me because they have to be at.
I have 3 cards left, so and I will go. If I will go to my notes if I have to. If things don't go the way I want.
I don't want to hear that though.
Okay.
But then we have vetoes out there yet, so
we have a couple slashes. Yeah.
We got a couple stabs out there. All right, so number 4.
Play it.
All right, my number 4.
Now.
Do it now. My number 4, movie I just watched within the last year. Behind the Mask. The Rise of Leslie Vernon. One of the best post-Scream slasher movies, maybe the best. This is a movie set within a world where Freddy, Jason, Michael are all actual people that have existed. And it is about the next generation of a serial killer. He is training. He's about to basically find his first final girl. He's about to make his first move
finds his first group of teenagers, and basically the whole found footage behind it is this group of documentary filmmakers are following him as he begins this journey into becoming the next great serial killer. And I think what really works is all the tropes behind like all the slasher movies of the 80s are flipped on its head. All the tricks, all the different like what's the term I'm thinking of? All like the cliches, they're flipped on their head, and I think Leslie Vernon is a very fun character to follow, even though he is a serial killer. He's very energetic, he's very charismatic, and yeah, I love Behind the Mask. It's one of my favorite modern slasher films, and I think it flips the entire slasher genre on its head. And then once you actually figure out his entire plan, like that makes the movie that much more enjoyable to me. So that's my pick, Behind the Mask.
This is a really good movie.
Yeah.
For about 50 minutes.
Okay.
I agree with a lot of what you say. It's very good at what it does. I think the movie dies about halfway through.
Pun intended.
Yeah, I think...
What part of it is it?
I think it's where it fully switches over. Because doesn't it fully switch over to a movie? Like, it drops the found footage thing and goes into, like...
Yeah, it sort of drops it, brings it back in, yeah.
Yeah. I really want to stab this movie. I really want to get rid of this movie. But I also, really respect the pick because I didn't even think about it. And, you're right, it really does play a lot with tropes.
Mm-hmm.
And,
there's just great scenes of, him, setting up rigs to pull doors shut and making it look like he can walk faster than he actually can.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff. I just, the movie gets to a point where I'm like, this would make a really good short movie. A really good, mockumentary, 30 minutes. Kind of like the... I really want to get rid of this movie.
Maybe I got to think of a way to convince you. For me, one of my favorite things to look at within the slasher genre is the final girl, and the trope of the final girl.
Okay.
This might have one of, if not the best, final girls.
I don't remember her at all.
No? So she's the blonde girl that is in charge of the documentary crew.
Yeah. Okay.
So the entire movie is setting up that this random chick within this high school is the final girl he's in love with and wants to kill. Yeah. But then his relationship he builds with the actual documentary filmmaker makes the entire final girl trope actually meaningful and relatable, which none of them have, because it's just a creepy guy either in a mask or with a deformity trying to kill this high school girl. So actually giving them a somewhat of a relationship or friendship, kinship, I think adds to it quite a bit. And Robert Englund's in it.
That doesn't do anything for me.
All right. I'm trying to pull out all the stops to keep Behind the Mask going.
Yeah. I respect the pick. I kind of want to see what you'd play if I stabbed it. I really want to see what you'd play. Oh. So there's 3 movies left. Man, Casey.
Do you need to think it over?
You got me in a good mood tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna let it.
Are you
You're
gonna let it
I
slide?
think I'm gonna let it slide because I respect the pick. Man, 2 games in a row. I'm not.
Yeah. What is up with that?
I don't know.
He's tired.
I'm not tired. I'm good.
He's hardened.
I'm wired.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it.
You gonna let it go?
I'm gonna leave it.
All right. Behind the Mask is number 4 on our list. Brian, have you ever seen this movie?
I have not, but by looking at these images on Just Watch, I'm kind of creeped the fuck out.
His mask is really creepy.
It's not. The mask is creepy, but the movies. I don't think the movie doesn't really go full horror until the last 20 minutes. I think.
No, it's straight up a mockumentary. The first.
Yeah.
I think you would enjoy it. Actually.
It's very meta.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also too, kind of going back to 76%.
Oh man.
Nice. Yeah.
For the critic side.
Okay.
So-
Let's see if we can break 80%. How about that? Well,
All right.
I'm ready with my third. We have 3 already.
Yeah, we're at number
Yeah,
3.
at number 3, like this is all you.
For me, playing this at number 3 makes sense because it's the third in the series.
Scream 3.
This
I know where he's going with it.
This is another. I love this movie and it needs to be on the list. And I would play it number 1, but I just think it needs to be on the list.
Okay.
Paranormal Activity 3. It's the best of the series by far. I think the first 2 are good, but this one, like, it has the best scares by far. Like the best buildup of dread, the best. It's another funhouse movie. It's basically I believe it's a prequel in a way to the rest.
It's a prequel to the prequel.
Right, and it takes place in the early '90s, I think. And there's so many sequences in this movie. Like the Bloody Mary sequence is. Oh my, I watched it a few weeks ago in preparation for something else that I'm working on, and it still got to me. And then the sequence where the camera is turning slowly, and then it's like going in like a 180-degree angle. Every time it comes back, something changes in the scene, and it's like little
In the
subtle
girl's
things.
room, right?
No, in the
Or is
kitchen.
it in the kitchen?
Yeah, and there's like little subtle things that change that if you aren't paying attention, you're gonna miss, and then the scare happens, and these sequences go on for minutes on end. And then the ending with the reveal of what is happening within the house, and it's for me it's the best of the series, and the scares still after like a third or fourth rewatch still get me.
I like this pick.
Yeah,
I do. I think it's a fitting spot at number 3.
yeah,
I think that's a good spot for it. I agree. It is by far the best of the Paranormal Activity movies.
yeah.
Alone by itself, it's a really good movie. Like without the Paranormal Activity name, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
The Bloody Mary sequence is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like that game as a child haunted me.
Yeah.
And then seeing that actually in a movie on the big screen,
knowing something would happen.
yes,
Yeah.
No, I think this is the best of the series. Definitely one of the best found footage movies as far as the series go, for sure.
Yeah. I agree. Wow,
Yeah.
I honestly agree.
Yeah, I like that pick.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it does need to be on this list.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Paranormal Activity changed the game.
Yeah, it's great. It's a good movie.
Like we probably should have a Paranormal Activity movie on here, and if we were, this is the one to have.
Yeah, the first one was good, and I like the whole story of how it came about, and it's released, and the multiple endings were released, and it's still a scary movie, but I think the third one they turned it into a fun house, and there's just like every sequence is this dread because something is going to happen and you don't know when and you don't know where, and they make really good use of cameras in the third movie.
And I think one of the things that works really well is the time frame in which it's set. It's set in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was videotaping everything then.
Because video cameras were coming into the home. And,
Into the home.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be on America's Funniest
yeah,
Home
exactly,
Videos.
exactly.
It made sense
And
why the dad was recording.
Yeah, and the ending where they add like a little mythology into it, like the ending is terrifying to this movie. It's really, really good. So I'm happy that you like this pick.
I like that pick. That's a good pick.
I would just like to point out, if you're trying to beat 80, you're going in the wrong order.
Are we into like the 50s now?
Well, in terms of from Paranormal Activity 2 to 3, you did go up, but no, for Paranormal Activity 3, you're at a 67%.
That's not bad.
I'm okay with that.
What's the first Paranormal Activity at?
Is that
Just
readily
curious.
though?
Actually, I just have that up here. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm guessing like an 87 or something.
2009, it was 83.
83. Wow.
And then Paranormal Activity 2 was at like a 50,
2 is not great.
59.
2 has a really haunting ending, but that's about it for that one. Yeah.
So you guys try to break that 80. And
Yeah.
You're going the wrong direction.
I don't know if we can break that.
I'm
but
fine with my pick being the highest Rotten Tomatoes score.
So are you good with this?
I'm
one
good
here?
with. I'll leave Paranormal Activity 3 on there. I like that pick. That's a good spot for it. Nice. But then we get to our top two here, and this is. I feel. So we each have one pick left.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun.
Blake has the number one pick.
I do.
have number two.
And you both have your knife ready.
We both do have the veto stab left.
You gotta get used to not calling it veto.
I know.
This
slash.
is where it gets dicey because I feel like you need a movie on here. Like, you know what movie you need to put on here.
I do, but I also have the feeling that it needs to be number one in that.
And you don't know if I'm going to play it or not.
Yeah. But and then that leads to the thing is, if I don't put it at number two and you don't put it at number one, and I veto it or stab it away, and you still don't put it at number one, then it's just off the list completely.
Right.
And I can't have that. But it has to be number one. Like, Brian, what do I do?
What do you do?
I'm asking for some expert advice. What do I do in this situation?
You just go all balls out and you hope for the best.
Or do I lay something down completely off the cuff that Blake will hate?
Okay, go with another movie.
I don't
Nut
know.
Up or Shut Up.
We're trying to come
Short
up.
version is Casey's screwed.
So me
Why
and
are you screwed?
me and Brian are very, very similar in what we think should be the number one pick.
Okay.
Okay. But I have the number two pick.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help us.
No, it doesn't. Well, you don't know that, though. You don't know.
we
No.
totally
We
know
don't.
that.
We don't know that.
You don't know that what is number one.
But we both feel this
I
has
think-
to be the number one.
I think we all know what needs to be on this list. Right?
I think we do.
Okay.
Okay.
But I can't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you have to decide if you
Bri-
want it on the
okay,
list.
Brian, the movie I'm thinking of, would you be okay if it was at number two?
Yeah, because it just needs to be on the list.
It does need to be on the list.
Yeah.
But I'd rather it be at number
But
one.
it needs to be at number one.
And Blake
But-
won't do that.
All right,
You don't
all
know
right.
that. You don't know what I'm picking for number one.
But he could. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. If I'm gonna lay this down,
Okay.
what I'm thinking here,
Okay.
and
I mean, I know what movie it is.
I know you know what
Okay,
movie it is.
yeah.
I'm just building suspense.
Yeah.
But if you in your whole heart feel this should be number one, I want you to just stab it right now. But it has to be on the list, so I have to play it down. The Blair Witch Project.
I wasn't thinking of that one.
Yeah. No, this movie is it just has to be on the list. It is the one that changed the entire genre that we know of. Well, one, found footage, and then
Changed? It created.
basically, yeah, there was
It created the modern day.
the modern found
found
footage, the popularity of it for sure. The
Yeah.
Blair Witch Project is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Period.
So it essentially created like the modern version of the genre. It kind of changed the rules. Was there anything that came out after it, like close to like that was similar, that was close in like release, or was it years before something came out that was like it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I want to say there was something that came out like right after.
Okay, because
That just unfortunately hit right after the Blair Witch hype.
Because I feel like I can't remember any movie that came out, another found footage that came out close to it, and I feel like that just shows how big and how, like in the zeitgeist that was. I mean, that movie was that was it. That was huge when that movie came out.
I see. I don't even remember that. I was 5 years old when this movie came out.
It was. I remember like that was the one everyone was talking about.
I have gone. So the Blair Witch Project. The way I first heard about it in my hometown is that there is a legend of a house that people just eventually called the Blair Witch House.
Okay.
Which has nothing to do with the movie. It's just a name they stole.
Yeah.
But that's how I first heard about it, and then I finally got around to finding the movie at some point, and
Yeah.
me and my buddies watched it, and I was totally engrossed in it. And
I've only seen it once.
really?
Yeah, and that was when it came out in VHS, 98 or whatever year. But
99.
Unless it's hit in theaters in 99.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. But I mean, like, this movie was like everyone was talking about it. It was huge, and I remember like this is kind of like before the internet boom. Like the internet was there, but it wasn't like a mass thing being used, and like you couldn't fact check things. So like the studio did a great job of like, oh, are these people actors? Oh, are they actually dead? Like they played along with the movie, and you like that just built this whole aura around the movie where like I have to see this, like, and then everyone had a theory of like who was dead and who wasn't, and it was just a huge phenomenon.
Yeah, the Blair Witch Project, like I said, is one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Yeah.
No matter what genre, subgenre.
I need to watch it again.
It's something that well, it is one, besides the original Halloween, I watch this movie every single Halloween season.
Really? Still?
Blair Witch Project. Yes.
Wow.
It's one I will go back to countless times because there is something you can take away from it every time you watch it.
Yeah. I don't remember like it being overly scary, I guess. I remember like watching it and being like, oh, there's like two or three good sequences where I was like,
for me, what makes it scary is how real it is, because it is real.
Yeah.
Like, to an extent, it is real because it is literally
under your skin.
Well, I know what you're saying. It's like it's a real.
Yeah, the director sent the 3 cast members out there with 2 cameras. Didn't give them any lines, just gave them direction. This is what you guys need to do this day, and they did it. And whatever they said was ad-libbed. Yeah. Just to get to point A to point B, and
I forget
that's how real it feels.
I forget that there is an iconic scene in it where the woman is, like, I'm so scared right now, and she has the
snot.
Right, yeah. So
that's not even my favorite scene in this movie.
Yeah, but my favorite scene is probably the one where they wake up and all the wooden things are made around the tent and everything.
I know, it's at the end when he's standing.
He's facing in the corner.
Yeah,
that's another thing that I think works so well about the Blair Witch Project that a lot of especially horror movies, don't even touch anymore, is mythology.
Yeah.
And I think the Blair Witch mythology works really well because you have no idea what they are up against.
Yeah.
Is it a witch? Is it this serial killer?
Yeah.
Is it just another group of people that are out there? Is it their friend? What is it?
Yeah.
And that's where I think once you get to Blair Witch Project 2, Book of Shadows just throws everything out the window.
That was a cash grab.
Well, supposedly, didn't they make that and then turn it into a Blair Witch Project?
I think that's what it was.
I think they made that.
The only thing that thing had good was the soundtrack.
I think it
does have a good soundtrack.
I think it's a better movie than people think. I don't think it's. I think what it was everyone expected the Blair Witch again, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think it's great. I think it's fine. But I think that movie failed because there was the whole phenomenon.
Yeah. There's one thing you said there where it's not what people were expecting it to be.
Right.
But that's where I feel like the Blair Witch has so many great companion pieces that make the movie even better. So if you look at Blair Witch 2 as a companion piece to this Blair Witch, it makes that movie better.
Yeah.
It also makes Blair Witch Project better. Because within the confines of the universe of Blair Witch 2, the Blair Witch Project is an actual movie like what we saw.
Right.
Not a straight-up sequel.
Right.
But if you're going to watch the Blair Witch Project, I would say probably jump into the Book of Shadows, jump into the Sci-Fi Channel documentary that came out right before the Blair Witch did.
I don't think I saw that.
You haven't?
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to watch. So it's about an hour, I think, long, that originally aired on the Sci-Fi Channel that explains the origins of the Blair Witch.
Okay.
And the story behind her. And it's presented in actual documentary manner. And if you watch that, and then watch Blair Witch Project, I think it enhances Blair Witch Project. Fun story, I actually showed it to my fiance's sister, the hour-long documentary, and she asked if it was real. So I'm like, I kind of wanted to sneak in Blair Witch Project just to see where it would gauge it if she thought it was real.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would just like to point out, you're telling him to follow Blair Witch with Book of Shadows. Book of Shadows is a 14 where...
You were obsessed with Rotten Tomatoes.
It intrigues me because of the point where it gives me an idea of where they are because, I'm a big advocate of, make your own opinion.
Yeah.
But knowing what, like, the collective overall...
Yeah.
Because, the original Blair Witch is an 87.
We broke it. We broke it.
It's a certified fresh.
Damn.
So, yeah, you're literally telling me to go watch this amazing movie and then follow it up with Book of Shadows.
It's not great. The Blair Witch is also not great. Pretty rough. The Adam Wingard.
I will say I enjoyed the promotion of that movie.
Oh, I wish they would have never revealed the title.
Yeah,
because one of my favorite things is that it was called The Woods, and I was just really excited because it was Adam Wingard's next movie.
Yeah.
And if they would have just kept it at that and just called it The Woods, and it was just Adam Wingard's next movie, it's found footage, and then you go to the movie, and all of a sudden you're sitting there, and it turns out it's a Blair Witch sequel.
That's what they did for the first screenings.
Yeah, at was it at
South
Comic-Con?
by Southwest, maybe.
Maybe. Or was that Comic-Con? One or the other.
Remember.
It was at something like that.
I didn't mind that one, but it just, I don't know.
If you're gonna do a straight up sequel, you gotta fit that same tone and that same, just the realistic factor.
It feels like they amped up. Yeah.
It was too studio for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was drone shots. And
which were
HD 4K cameras.
Yeah.
No. So that's my spot. Blair Witch Project.
Well, it needs to be on the list. So
it does need to be on the list.
It'll stay at number 2. So.
Oh, Brian, we're gonna lose.
You're not gonna lose. It's on the list.
It's on the list.
It is on the list.
I could.
But it needs to be number 1.
I could stab it and then see what you put, and then I'll play my number 1. So.
That you could.
All right, I have 2 picks left in my hand. One of them I'm definitely playing. Know that it is the better of the 2, so if you stab it, you might not get.
I love how he's like screwing with you. Like, this is the better.
I know Blake has been a nice guy to me so far on these lists.
I really wanted to stab Vernon. I really wanted to stab that movie.
I will just let you know when we do these, I'm not going to be nice.
Okay. Well, you already took my Manhattan from me. So.
Yeah.
Big asshole.
Okay.
All right, Blake, number 1.
So I actually talked about this on the Zombies episode of the Backlot podcast. This is a Spanish movie. It takes place. It's called Record or Rec. This movie takes place in Madrid, Spain. It is about a news reporter who does a story about some firefighters who work the overnight shift, who get called to a apartment building in the middle of the city for I believe it's like a heart attack of someone. Like someone's not feeling well, someone's like died or concussed. But they arrive at this apartment building and things are just not right, and they you don't know what, and then all of a sudden like the building is quarantined. They don't know what's going on. There's policemen outside with machine guns, and then all of a sudden people start turning into zombies, and you follow. So what you said earlier, this movie finds a nice way to get the camera in there, so it doesn't feel like a gimmick. Like you're following a news story, a news reporter, and it's another funhouse movie where they're going from floor to floor, and they're killing people, but those people are coming back, turning into zombies, and they're fast running zombies. So they're running up and down stairs through these large apartments, and it's just one scare after another, and I think it's only about 80 minutes long. So it's a short movie, and it just flies by, and a lot of great scares, a lot of great deaths. This is easily a top 5 scariest movie of the new millennium, and I think it's a deserving number 1 found footage movie.
Look at him wince over.
Casey is
because
pissed.
I have no control over it.
Casey is pissed,
which is all right. I trust you on it.
Yeah.
It's number 1. It'll be number 1 on our list. I trust you on it. I have yet to watch it after doing our zombie episode on the Backlot 605 podcast, but I'm okay with it.
I love this movie. It's so great. You can watch the second one, but skip 3 and 4. The first 2 are great companion pieces to each other.
No, I'll be okay with this because I trust you on it.
Okay.
I have no idea what you would lay down otherwise.
Well, we can talk about it after we finalize the list.
Finalize it? I'm okay with this.
Yeah, because I want to see what you have in your other cards, and
I
then
got a
and then,
couple
and
here.
then I have one, but I also have some lists that we can talk about that we chose from, so we can also like recommend other like really good found footage movies.
Yeah. No, I'm good with this list.
Yeah,
I got the.
Let's read off the list one more time for the audience here.
Yeah. Number 7, which was my pick, Grave Encounters. Number 6, also my pick, Creep. Number 5, Blake's pick, The Den. Number 4, my pick, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Number 3, Blake chose Paranormal Activity 3. And my second pick, The Blair Witch Project. And at number 1, greatest found footage movie of all time, according to Blake, Wreck.
According to the Backlot Killer Countdown.
No,
group.
this is our list, and we're sticking to it.
Yes.
Our countdown.
We have the greatest on there. It's on the list.
It is. Blair Witch Project is on the list.
I think this is a good list. I think I need to watch Creep now because you're like, it's one of those movies where a lot of people talk about it. I'm like, it doesn't look like it's anything, but the fact that you brought it up, I think I need to finally watch it.
No, before we started here, I said I had 4 picks and a definitive number 1 out of those. So obviously my definitive number 1 was the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
But I had got my other 3 on there.
Yeah, and I for me, I'm not opposed to the Blair Witch. Obviously, to me it needed to be on the list, but I don't connect with it. But I respect it enough that where I can't stab that off.
No, I have a really good feeling about this list. I like this list. I think it's a good list.
Yeah, I feel like we could actually do like a 8 through 14 or whatever at some point too. Like,
oh, what would be after that?
There's so many other good ones too. I think.
I have a stack here.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you have to say. Or what you have.
Yeah, one of.
I decided to go on Wikipedia and looking up found footage, and there's an entire list, and this thing goes back far, far. Because I want to say, where Blair Witch falls in that, because there is a handful of what would be considered found footage before Blair Witch in '99, going back all the way to 1980, which was your Cannibal Holocaust.
Yep.
But I mean, especially if you were to try to go for what's the next 7, you got a lot of source material to go through. Granted, there's a couple in here that makes me kind of scratch my head, like Gem and the Holograms is on this list.
As a found footage movie?
Is
it a found footage?
I mean, it's scary.
I don't know. It bombed at the box office to the point where even me, as a fan of the cartoon when I was a kid, kind of thing, that.
I'd never heard of it until the movie came out. So.
You never heard of the cartoon?
No.
It's weird.
Not
It's
a girl.
cartoon. It's definitely geared towards.
You are not a girl.
Yeah.
Well, it's like found footage more leans towards the,
I know
the
what it
horror
leans towards and
the
everything else.
genre.
Yeah.
Gem and Holograms fits right between The Visit and Ghost Dimension, Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension.
Yeah.
So it's right in there.
It is.
Yeah.
I had Paranormal Activity in my.
Oh, you had the third one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my favorite of those series. So
I'm happy to see that actually, because I don't see a lot of people talk about that movie, and I think it's really good.
No, I do. I honestly agree that it is the best of those. And if you were for some reason hated Grave Encounters or something, I would have gone Paranormal Activity right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's my number 5.
I actually
out
thought
of
about
this.
putting it at number 5.
Instead
Where
of
the
the Den?
den.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I was like, oh, I don't know how he feels about the Den. Like,
Yeah.
and for me, the Den had to be on the list.
Yeah, I like Paranormal Activity 3 being on here. The Visit, M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. I would have vetoed that. I would have stabbed that off.
It was towards the bottom of the list.
I was. I think I still would have wasted my stab at 7 or 6. It's
You would
not.
have been like, no.
It's not bad. It does not. It should not be on
this 7
for
list.
For me, it could not. No.
Part of my game plan was maybe to put The Visit at number 2.
And then what?
Just to see, maybe you had Blair Witch on there.
Oh.
If you would put it at number 1.
I would have stabbed it. I would have requested a second stab to get it off the list.
Yeah, hey, maybe holding back and putting some into the repository ain't such a bad idea.
VHS, the first one. The Sacrament, which we've talked about on the last podcast.
I think I would have stabbed both of those as well.
Both of those. Yeah. And then Creep 2.
I
think it's just as good as the first one.
I obviously have not seen Creep 2.
It's an entirely different aspect on the same character, and I think it works just as well.
My last card is I wanted it on the list, but I didn't. It's not entirely like a full-on horror movie. It's Troll Hunter from Norway, where it's about this guy who hunts trolls.
Hence the title.
Yeah.
What a crazy stretch.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun, and it's really funny, and it's not entirely scary horror, but it's well worth everyone's time. It used to be on Netflix, and then
did Del Toro produce?
I don't know.
He had something.
Speaking of produce, have the producer check that one out.
Yeah, I think he had.
I don't know. I don't think he did.
I
can't see him producing a Norwegian movie, but
I can't remember.
As far as like my master list that I chose from,
Shudder.
There you go. Area 51, I enjoyed a lot. It's not. It's probably gonna have like a 20 or 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, but I don't care. It's a lot of fun. It's creeped me the hell out.
Which one?
Area 51. Another movie by an Academy Award-winning Best Director is called The Bay, by Barry Levinson. About it's this found footage. Obviously, it's a found footage movie. But basically, this like bay in, I believe it's on the East Coast. All of a sudden, like they find these parasites, and it's about how this entire town gets overrun by these parasites from the water, and there's some really really great scares in it. And then I really enjoy both the Unfriended movies. I think they're both a ton of fun. I'd say the second one's even better than the first one. The reason why I didn't put them on is because I think The Den came out first, and it is way more scary than these two. I think these two like are having more of like a fun, like it kind of feel like an MTV movie in a way. Like these young, like they're all assholes, and they all kind of deserve to die. You know, like they're all pricks, and the fact that like I think I'm a little sore that the Unfriended series got more like more of a push than The Den. Like
definitely more mainstream.
Yeah. They're fun. Like I get it. Like The Den goes all in on its premise.
Yeah, definitely. The first Unfriended, I enjoyed watching that one in the theater.
Yeah,
it is fun.
Yeah,
I think the kills are really fun in that one.
Yeah. And I think like
Dark Web is god awful. It's god awful.
I disagree.
Like it's under the movies where I could just sit and laugh at everything that's happening.
I don't know, like,
and they were not. It's not supposed to be funny.
Like all of the stuff where like they go into like this, like they're actually going into the dark web, and like there's like this boat going down this.
Oh yeah.
Like all that was like I found that all like.
I like that, but it's when the hacker guy gets in and it's just laughable. What they think the dark. It is written by people who think they know what the dark web is because they have heard stories about it on the internet, but have no idea what it actually is.
That doesn't bother me. Like
it bothers me because The Den does the dark web perfect.
Yeah. I'll admit I don't know much about the dark web other than what I've heard, so maybe I wouldn't be good at writing one of these. But I'm not saying that like.
You need to talk to Alex Winter
about the dark web.
Yeah.
What does he do on the dark web?
I don't.
So
we should. Probably, I don't want to hear about this.
No. So you're familiar with Alex Winter, Bill as in Bill S. Preston from Bill and Ted.
Yeah, I think he made a documentary on.
He's got 2 documentaries that he's known for. One is called. He's got one on the rise and fall of Napster, called Downloaded, and he's got one called Deep Web, which is his documentary on the dark web.
I think he's doing one on cryptocurrency too.
I don't know if you get that one.
All right.
But yeah, because he goes completely all in as to explaining, why your cybersecurity is important and all the different things that he went way down the rabbit hole to do that documentary.
Yeah.
Huh, I might have to check that out.
Yeah, me too.
Do you have any others?
No. I mean, I do like As Above, So Below, or whatever it's called. We were
Paris.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the concept and the setting of it.
Yeah.
Besides that, I thought it was forgettable. I don't think it's god awful. It's just very forgettable.
I'm sure we're forgetting some, but
yeah, I have some. There's one we watched. I watched this last year at SuperCon here in Sioux Falls. It was called Live Scream. So it's basically very much like Unfriended in the Den, where it takes place entirely on this guy's screen, and he is a live streaming gamer, and he is playing a horror game that he got sent to him, and it is about people in his chat room that start dying, and he has to try to save them while beating different levels of the game.
This sounds a lot like Unfriended.
It is, but better.
Really?
A lot better. Yeah.
Live Scream?
Live Scream.
I'm going to have to check.
It's hard to find.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll find it.
It's very, very indie. Only probably about an hour long. 70 minutes long.
Perfect.
Yeah, but it's good. I think it is better than Unfriended. And, I think it plays with that concept a lot better than Unfriended did. And then I think one that could have maybe snuck on here, even though it isn't technically a horror movie, is Chronicle. Because
I considered that one because it does go horror at the end.
It does. It's scary. I think it more falls under dark superhero than straight up horror.
Sure.
Yeah, but you were calling this straight up. You were calling this found footage. You were just keeping a horror because of
this being a horror podcast.
Right.
But I think there's enough horror elements that we could have made an argument for it.
I would have.
I
I would have stabbed it off the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian.
No, it's good. I mean,
yeah.
It gave, watching that movie gave me an appreciation for Ginithan because he just goes off the rails.
It introduced me to Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a very good movie. I just don't like it. Is not a full horror movie for me.
Within the genre itself of found footage, it's my second favorite after Blair Witch.
Really?
Yeah.
Found footage in general.
No, yeah.
I love Chronicle.
It's good.
Yeah, I think if it showed up on the list, I would have been all right with it. There's enough scary parts.
I feel
the ending where he goes like just straight dark and just starts robbing and murdering people. I'm like, that is scary. Imagine if someone actually had these type of powers and did that.
Yeah.
And Dane DeHaan plays a great villain.
He made a really good movie that I like called The Cure for Wellness. That is.
I still need to watch it.
Yeah, same.
It's I would pick it over The Ring as my favorite Gore Verbinski horror movie. Like it's such a great. What's that? A Rango? Rango, yeah, Rango. Yeah, Casey, I'm looking at this list and I feel like The Den could have got number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Rex, so if you would have swapped those two around, I would have been all right with it. Damn. Yeah.
Well, but we can't now. This is the definitive list.
Again, the number 2 is my number 1, so I think it's a good list. I'm okay with it.
I think if I made my own list, The Blair Witch would not make it. It would not make it.
And your list would be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think...
I do tend to be a contrarian sometimes.
As much as I hate that Blair Witch isn't number 1, I'm happy because my top 4 are on this list. And you didn't stab any of them away.
Honestly, I feel like my top 4 is on there as well.
Counting Grave Encounters?
Yeah. That was the first one I wrote. When we were making a list, that was the first one I wrote was Grave Encounters. That was like, this is getting on the list.
Yeah.
When you put it, I was like, oh, I get to save my picks.
Yeah. Since we are talking about, what are your thoughts on the second one?
Okay. I think it's great up until the last 15 minutes when it turns into something completely different that makes no sense. Because it turn into like an actual movie where it's outside in this like countryside or something. Like it goes way off the rails.
Yeah, where it like reveals like how he gets out of it.
Yeah,
it really like
there's
ghosts were like making the movie.
It's just
it comes into the concept where it's
like
finish the movie and then you can get out, and he does.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's dumb.
There's good scares in it though.
Yes, there is. There's some really good scares in it, but man, it's not worth. I don't know if I can recommend it or not.
I would say if you watch Grave Encounters and enjoyed it, go watch the second one. If you didn't, you're gonna hate the second one even more.
Yeah,
because I think because there's something you brought up with Grave Encounters is the time concept.
Yes.
And how they get stuck in
Yes.
the loop. I think the second one does that even better. That small
I almost
concept.
want to watch the second one now. Like watch like a double feature some night.
Yeah, this has been one I'm trying to find again because I need to watch them back to back because Kayla has not watched them, and I think it's something we need to watch just back to back. It's
Grave Encounters is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
All right, so that's our list. Top 7 horror found footage movies.
Wow.
I think that's a solid list, and I think it's good.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I'm okay with it.
I might cry about Blair Witch later, but yeah, it's what it is. Brian, do you have any final thoughts or anything about the list?
There's some movies I need to watch.
There is.
Should be the main takeaway I think with these lists is we hope to curate
Some movies you've never heard of.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole concept.
Yeah. People who know me know that I ride hard for the den. Like I ride hard.
You ride hard for the den.
I do. I'm like thinking of like a top 10 list of horror movies of the decade, and I feel like the den is
Would make it?
gonna
Yeah.
go pretty high on that list. So
I would have been alright if it was higher on this list.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really regretting. I just like I don't know where you're gonna go, you know, and that's the risk of this game is like you don't know what the other person's gonna do. So I had to get it on the list. I had to.
Yeah. So, that's the episode. We do want to bring up if you guys have any suggestions for top 7 lists you want us to cover, any countdowns,
Yeah.
please let us know.
Or if you know someone who you could possibly go against.
Yeah. If
We'd
you guys
love
have,
to entertain two people who think they know what they're talking about.
yeah, if we have a couple people that want to duke it out on their favorite subgenre of horror, let us know. And the way you can let us know is through our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Backlot605. Also check us out on backlot605.com and backlot605@gmail.com. Reach us in any of those forms. We're pretty easy to find. You can find this podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn. Am I missing anything? Probably. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
I think we got it all. Yeah. So basically, just follow us on backlot605.com. That's the easiest way to find all our stuff. And if you like this show, please let us know. Please let us know any other countdowns you want to do on the Killer Countdown. And as always, please check out all our other stuff we got going on at backlot605.com. Check out our main show, the Backlot 605 podcast.
And watch Wreck, the greatest found footage horror movie of all time.
Yeah, if you haven't watched any of these, definitely go watch them.
Yeah.
So, until next time, Brian, thank you for being our Mr. Moderator again. And I would say check out Behind the Mask. I think is the one Brian would enjoy the most out of this list.
I agree. I think you would really get a kick out of it.
Yeah. All right, Blake, this has been Found Footage. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.